President Emerson Mnangagwa's decision to sign the controversial Private Voluntary Organizations Amendment Bill into law has triggered an immediate and damaging response from the European Union, which has withdrawn crucial funding intended to assist Zimbabwe in its debt restructuring negotiations. The move casts a long shadow over the country's already fragile economy and threatens the livelihoods of countless Zimbabweans who rely on the support of non-governmental organizations, NGOs. Mnangagwa's decision, which ignored repeated warnings from various quarters, including United Nations human rights experts, to reconsider the legislation, is widely seen as a significant blow to democratic principles and civic space in Zimbabwe. The PVO Act grants the government sweeping powers to monitor and control the operations of NGOs, including scrutinizing their ownership structures, funding sources, and affiliations. The EU's swift response underscores the international community's deep concern over the implications of the PVO Act for civil society and human rights in Zimbabwe. EU Ambassador to Zimbabwe Jobst von Kirschmann stated that the signing of the law had reinforced negative trends on governance. The new law, gazetted on Friday, amends 5 major pieces of legislation, including the PVO Act, the Money Laundering and Proceeds of Crime Act, and the Criminal Law Act. Critics argue that the PVO Act amendments grant authorities extensive power to monitor and control the operations of private voluntary organizations, including the ability to scrutinize their ownership structures, funding sources, and affiliations. The legislation has been met with widespread condemnation from civil society and human rights defenders, who argue that it grants the government excessive control over NGOs, potentially limiting their ability to operate freely and compromising their independence and autonomy. Key concerns surrounding the PVO's law include restrictions on civic space, potentially limiting the ability of NGOs to operate freely, and government control, which could compromise their independence and autonomy. Critics say the new law may exacerbate the challenges faced by NGOs and other organizations reliant on external support. In fact, last year, United Nations rapporteurs on human rights wrote to Mnangagwa urging him to refrain from signing the then bill into law, describing it as an assault on democratic principles. In a letter to the ZANU-PF leader, the rapporteurs said they had communicated their grave concerns over the severe penalties imposed by the amendment bill, including imprisonment for non-compliance with the minister's prescription on how non-governmental organizations must run their affairs. Although the new bill includes relevant clarifications regarding the prohibitions of political partisanship for PVOs and reduces fines, it remains very problematic that it maintains the general prohibition, including the criminal offense of supporting or opposing any political party or candidate in any election, among others.